Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. My name is TKM Spathers and welcome to BGWT, my first ever upload of this series. We're here for another oval race. I'm starting P2, qualified P2 behind West 308, the current championship leader I think. I'm there in second and we've got Adam MVP in third. Not a great start there off the line, and Adam MVP, the second Godfrey's driver, is going to come alongside, and so too is Tall Stu. He's on my outside, so free abreast into turn one isn't gonna end that well. As yep, free wide doesn't go too well, and Tall Stu gets squeezed into the wall and drops back at quite a few positions. We're there now in third place behind the two Godfrey's drivers, with West out in front, Adam MVP in second, myself in third for the TKM team. Alex Steno fourth, M&T Samuel is fifth. So let me just sort of talk you through this. As Adam MVP goes to the inside, I go to follow him, give him a little bit of a bump job. But BGWT is the league within MVP racing. Currently we're all using the BMW M6. All the same cars, all the same setup, balance performance, all the same. It's a single make race. The teams, you've got 2 drivers per team. I race under TKM Motorsport. You've got Godfrey's, you've got MAS, Bioparcel, who LS down out my inside there is part of. So P2 at the moment, just behind Alan MVP. Do I decide to go for the overtake? Yes I do, going round the outside in turn 1. Alan MVP will probably try and fight back. He's up the inside, a little bit of contact mid-apex, and he manages to hold on as LS Doe decides to bump draft in. And now I start getting bump drafted from my teammate M&T Samuel, who is running under the TKM banner for this race. West now stops to third, M&T Samuel's up into fourth, KB there as well, and we've got a driver there which is I think Kilo there, as we all get drawn out a little bit and I get squeezed into the wall again on the outside of 3 abreast. Doesn't end up too well as I drop down now to 8th, now to 9th as a GCB driver of Martha goes by. You got Crowcrowd up my inside there as well. It's breaking into turn 1 and Crowcrowd is through. I drop another place now. Fat Pickles, bro, the Infinity Decals driver, is past me and he's up into 10th spot. And now a gap is starting to form for Crowcrowd, and he has now lost the toe. And I don't really know if this is the time, but now I'm thinking, oh, right, we've got to close in. Already at the side of Fat Pickles, so might as well make the move. That was a little bit naughty from me. I should have probably tried to give him more room, as West has now dropped back, so he was probably squeezed into the wall on the exit. And I'm now thinking, I'm saying to the guys, because we're all in the party at this stage, I was hoping to get the first person view, but unfortunately not this time. I'm saying to the other guys, right, okay, we've lost the toe of the leaders, we need to bump draft, we need to work together, or we're going to lose. We're not going to have a chance of winning this race. So Crowcrowd carries on, high bump draft Crowcrowd, Pilo's bump drafting me, and you've got also West bump drafting Pilo. So all in a nice bump drafting train as Crowcrowd is closing that gap. Now, I don't know if so Crowcrowd closing in, and Crowcrowd at this point says, right, it's 7/10 from all that. I'm thinking, okay, if I make the move now, still going to be in the toe. I completely messed up the corner, and I'm back out the toe again. Lost a couple of attempts. So now we've got the work to go again, and in hindsight, I should have just pushed him until we were well inside the slipstream range, but hindsight's a wonderful thing, and to be honest, it didn't affect me too much, because it didn't affect me too much. So, Pilo now bump drafting me, And this is a point, I think, of my first pause, is it? Keep an eye out for the hazards. There you go. First pause, I managed to get the pause done quite quickly. But watch the hazards again on the exit of this corner. Yeah. And then hazards. And I think at this point, Pilo's like, oh, okay, you might get a pause with corner. Don't want that happening. That's the loss of my race. So, goes past, and he goes past in a place where he's not going to lose too much time. I shot in into 10th, just ahead of James and just behind Wes. Again, I'm still communicating with these guys. Look, just continue. Don't defend. Just keep bump drafting because we're only 5 minutes into the race. We've still got 10 minutes to go. It's a 15-minute race this, and because it's an oval race, I decided, well, what's the point in doing cuts? Because it's thick and fast action. So currently I think TKN is 4th in the standings. It hasn't been the best season for me. I think I'm 6th in the standings, in the driver's standings, which is I'm not overly pleased with. I've had a few bad luck races and a few races where I just haven't had the pace, where I just don't know the circuit or not done enough practice and whatnot. And yeah, it's not been the greatest of seasons for me, especially as I have won a season. We're on to season 6 now. Winner of season 4. So another lap gone as we stay in the slipstream of West, as we have now bridged the gap, and now, well, it's anyone's game, so we start on the attack once more. West is there in 9th Pilo, looking to the outside. You've got KB there as well. We're all jostling for position, and I do enjoy these MBB races. We're all sort of understand the rules of racing like you should, and there's no sort of interference from the penalty system, and if you take someone out, we deal with it, and it's clean, close racing. If there is an incident, it's dealt with, or we deal with it ourselves, which is what normally happens. There doesn't normally have to be much intervening. There you go, we've still got 12 cars in with a chance of winning this race at the moment. 12 cars, 10 laps in. So, I'm the slipstream of KB, and I was looking to go up the inside there, but clipped him just at the wrong point. Still though, in 10th spot, side by side with Pilo. Pilo's on the outside there, and he's slipstreaming West. I think that was Torst doing, it was Equal Pants trying to slot into someone else's slipstream there. Everyone's just trying to find the way, as we were about 4 wide there through turn 3. It all manages to go through as KB's now at the inside, you've got Pilo there on the outside, and I'm on the inside, 3 forward rest through that corner, and yeah, it doesn't end well, and I think Pilo ends up dropping back. So I've moved up to P8 due to that. We're on the inside of Ickleband. We've got KB there in 6th, and MNT Sammy, my teammate, there in 5th, as we try and at the inside of Ickleband. He decides not to try and hold it around the outside, so we moved up another position up into P7, just behind the German of KB. So we cut constantly moving up places, which is what we want. We want to be in the chance of taking the victory here, and the only chance we've got of doing that is by moving up close to that front, because the front is where you want to be in those last few laps. You don't want to be back as far as the spot, because you're not going to be able to make that many places in the last few laps. So it's going to be very difficult, and you've got to have luck on your side to be able to make those places up. So we're at 7th spot, just behind our teammate M&T Samuel, the Mentalism esports driver, a very, very quick driver indeed, and we are still, I think, a group of 10, I think. As we're now on the back of Adam MVP, trying to find a way by, and now Samuel is going to be hanging out to dry because he's out the slipstream, but we're coming to the corner now. He's got the inside line as we now exit, and we've got West on our outside as we all pull into each other's slipstreams, and we're all into a nice long train of cars, 7 car and 7 spotters up the inside. That looks like LS Deno looking up the inside of Marshall 2012 as we look back here, and I think that's 10 cars indeed involved in this scrap for the win. So 6 cars have dropped off the back of this race, and with the size of this slipstream, it is very easy you don't have to have a big incident to lose the pack, and then it depends how far back you are and also how many cars are in your train, because if you're on your own, as we now get a good run and we're now up into 5th spot as Ellis Geno gets a few drivers get stuck on the outside there as Ellis looks back up the inside there. As we look back, and there's contact between Icklepants, West and also James, and they drop off the pack, so 7 now has a chance of winning this race. So, as I was saying, yeah, it's very difficult, especially if you're on your own. You're not going to be able to catch up to the front pack, and even if you're in a group, it's difficult to close up the gap, and you can't have much of a gap to try and close because you're just run out of time, to be honest. As Alan MVP drives up the inside of Marshall gets bogged down, hits the wall, and I get bogged down behind him. I think also my 4-way flashes end up popping on there because I think my game paused once again, and I really need to fix that issue. We're now in behind M&T Samuel, and we've dropped to the back of the lead group, but thankfully we're still in that so important slipstream. So 7 cars battling for this lead. We're at the back of them, which means we can watch what's going on, but we're sort of in the danger zone as well, being this far back, because if some people collide, you've got more of a chance of being involved in it because there's more people in front of you, so there's more chance of people crashing in front of you. So yeah, 7th. Desperately trying to find places, but it is difficult to overtake sometimes, especially if you're in the middle of the pack. If you're second, it's reasonably easy because you can just slipstream past them, but when you're further back, that's when it starts getting difficult. And also if you are second, you can't sort of drop back to try and get a run, because then you'll get attacked. As Adam MVP is now at the inside for the lead, as we're now going to a 2x2 formation, and I'm just here on the back of these guys thinking, well, who do I follow? We've got 2 trains free down this back straight through turn 2, and M&T Samuel's there at 6th. There's another driver's falling back, that's Marshall, is falling back into 5th, and the stays in 4th. Tall Stu on that, getting caught out on that outside is KB, and Marshall now drops back. He's hit the wall and has lost some momentum and dropped back into 6th spot. I'm in the slipstream of my teammate M&T Samuel, who's looking at the inside of LS Deno. I'm looking around the outside to see if I can get a good run. We both sandwich LS Deno, but Samuel then clips KB, which stops his run, and then I clip KB after after Samuel clipping KB, which loses my run. But I managed to get a better run than Samuel and slot up into 5th spot, just behind Ellis Deno, who's down past KB and is trying to go behind the outside of Adam MVP. It looks like he's going to be able to do it. Adam MVP tries to give him as little room as possible, but Ellis Deno is still there. KB is trying up the inside of Adam MVP, and I'm up into 1st spot by bunch after Ellis Deno through into 2nd, and This is the last lap. We're up into third. Will be a good result. Let's see if we can improve it. LS Dano looking at the inside of Tall Stu. Doesn't have a good enough run, and we're on the back of LS Dano. What we're going to decide to do? Well, LS Dano tries to go around the outside, then tucks back into the slipstream. And again, looking to the outside, but it looks like Tall Stu has everything covered. Looking up the inside now. Can we get a good run? I think we clipped LS Dano there slightly, and we're not going to get a good run, but we're going to end up in third spot, which I am very happy with. Third spot and a good result for me in this season, and hopefully we can continue this form. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good one.